Getting everything set up. We only have about an hour before we gotta go, but we'll try to make the most of it. Getting everything set up here. Do I want to save this? Yeah. Okay. So I think we were working the jacket the last time. I don't remember how far I took it. It's like it has a solidify. Um, I want to make the jacket kind of thick. Let me see. Looking at this angle. We don't have a, there's like supposed to be another piece here for the private, but we're not modeling it yet. Or maybe, I don't know actually if I want to model it. That's a little better. I'm using the mouse right. Yeah, I'm using the mouse, so kind of being a little lazy instead of using the tablet. It's a little better, I think. Kind of don't like the stretch that's happening. I'd like a point here, see if that helps it. Just add more geometry maybe. That might help it a little bit. I'm gonna put the glove on. Yeah, okay, that's a little more control. All right. So we got kind of sidetracked looking at that. Let's go back to the jacket. Um, hmm. This one jacket has like a lot of different parts happening on it, which makes it more fun. We were talking about making this piece separate too, so. But that's a different design than what I have though. Okay, so that's something to think about. I think, yeah, I think I want to go the other route. So what I'll do, let's see what the other jackets are. So there's one over there. There's this guy. So we can go a couple of different routes. We can, um, I could, I could start from this guy. Oh, but then it doesn't match here. Okay, so you know what? Let's pop that back. Let's hide it for now. I might have it just as a like an extra backup. I'm thinking like I want to remove this tarp piece, so let's do that. Let's try taking off the top. Let's hide the solidify. And then I guess I'll select it this way and I'll chop it off. I'll just hold control, try to chop it pretty consistently here. It's a little zigzag there, but it's okay. Okay, and then is there like a way to select it? Select inner. Oh, perfect, nice. So let's hide this for a sec. So that's like what it looks like without the top piece. I feel like it's stronger. Let's bring it back for a sec. Let's call this neck piece. And call this jacket. Or just call it one for now. I'm actually gonna get rid of this one. Like whatever. Well, yeah, I'll just delete it. Whatever. So let's turn on backface call. Turn off backface calling so I could see it. Let's look at it in flat view. So you can see this breaks the hair silhouette. It breaks the neck silhouette. So if I hide it, the hair and neck come in. Let's see, go on the side. Okay, so from the side, I actually don't mind it from the side. It's kind of interesting. It like tapers out. The chin is more notable without it. Well, I feel like it's stronger without it from the front and back. But then the side, Maybe if this was like more like this. I kind of like this. And then we can also consider, so that's like the overall silhouette, but, oh, was I not using this? I was using a matte cap? Oh, huh. Well, these are really similar. This has like more local shadows, like individual pieces, kind of. This is kind of dark, actually. Um, Outline. Let's see if I can mess with this a little bit and see. The cool thing about having outline on is you'll notice like small overlaps like this. The negative side is places you don't want to see the line, like here, you kind of notice it. But let's try it for a bit and then we'll like ignore these transitions. So now we're getting much more specular, like reflection detail. So let's look at it again. So the other idea I had was we could try the other style where it's kind of facing down more. So it's going to be flatter like this versus this. I don't mind it. I feel like it can go either way. I kind of like it from the back more. The front, I guess you can also imagine it if it's like printed. This versus this. This will have interesting cavity detail, so like you'll have dark areas here as a print versus this. But at the same time, it's also cleaner, less noisy there. I guess we can also ask like, in terms of like shape language, circle, angles, maybe this way. So this is going this way, this is going this way, and this was going this way. So that kind of felt like it was not part of the language, maybe. We can echo this shape with the thing this way, shaping. Yeah, so I think the other idea is better. We'll try the other idea and then call this one. I might delete it later. I could build this a few ways. I could do a sphere. I could do a plane. I think a plane makes more sense here. Let's make sure. Build from the origin so it's like symmetrical. I'm gonna keep them separate so there's like a lot of room to change it. I don't know if I'm liking this gray. I feel like it's too stark, but I don't know. We'll see. It might be the background color too, but it's just not coinciding really well. My reference is pretty big here. I'm gonna make it smaller. This thing kind of tapers off over here. Let's make this shade smooth. Let's add a solidify. Okay. And make this harder. Actually, let's try this way. We would add more details like giving this an outline, but that's kind of secondaries. So we won't do that right now. Let's see if we can add one header. Yeah, that's good. Nice. And then let's add a let's add a button. Nice. Yeah, that feels cool already. I think I can mirror this. Or no. Subdivision of 3. I guess I could just mirror them separately. It's okay. Mirror. There you go. Nice. And the other part. Yeah, I'll just do another plane. Tonight, if like I have enough energy, I'm gonna try to sand and stream the other print. And then I think it's the last pass, and then finally we could just focus on this one, which is cool. Let's bring this one up a little bit more. How am I gonna do this piece? I guess I could do it. Just do this. Oh, clear the transforms. Symmetrize. There you go. Symmetry. Not sure how I want to do this piece. Maybe Maybe like have it kick up like that a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Uh, then I'll I'll just do one half of it and then mirror it again. Let's isolate for a sec here. Don't know how I want to handle this transition. I'll probably like have it as a separate mesh and then line it up. That's what I'm thinking. There you go. So nice and symmetrical. Hmm. Let's try adding a solidify. It almost like reads as a little mini hood, which I don't mind, but why is this happening? I think it's overlapping itself. Oh, it's because of the thickness here. Okay, okay. Let's actually bring this stuff in then. Oops, I hit a accidental button. How's that look compared to... I need to do some asymmetrical stuff there, but we'll ignore it for now. Um, it's the shape doesn't look like it's supposed to. It's supposed to taper out, so it's supposed to do this. This might be too hard of an edge. I think it needs to go up higher, I think. Well, could bring these down. Let's turn off symmetry. Let's break symmetry. This needs to go down more. I feel so sleepy. What did I do? I'm tempted to drink another coffee, but it's like, let's see. What if I add and bevel this? Let's see what happens. This is before or after. Oh, okay, so that raised that area. That's kind of cool. I think we go even higher though, honestly. Like if this edge was higher, maybe. Yeah, there we go. Let's look at the geometry again. Uh-oh. I could maybe add another edge loop. Like right here. Or is that too much? Let's see how it looks. Rounding it out. I like what's happening here, kind of. That versus that. I'm not going to do that. It's thickness overall. And I want to squish the top, I think, a bit more, so. This looks way too long in the back now, so bring that up here. We'll fix that bottom one after. Let's pull that in. There you go. Let's mask the other side and just kind of work on this side. Yeah, nice. Is this more interesting? Kinda. So there's more space here. There's a shape here now, which is kind of interesting, I guess. We were thinking about this angle, so like the chin doing this, these are doing this, so it's kind of echoing. It's echoing the shoulders more than anything, this to this. Nothing's really echoing this shape though. Maybe this, maybe a little bit. What if we force this to be the same angle? Let's just see, I'm just kind of curious. Okay. I was hoping that would give me some ideas. Let's change the shader type, because I feel like this is really stark, which isn't bad. We were using this earlier. Cut that line off. Let's mess with the studio lights a bit more, see what we can get. Shadow's really laggy. It does add a bit of subtle. It kind of helps you tell like where crevices are, but it takes up a lot of like GPU power. I'll leave it on for a second, just see. Just testing, moving the camera. Oh yeah, I can see the lag. Oh yeah, there's a spike in the GPU, so let's just turn that off for now. Let's see what other. This is pretty stark. This is really close to MatCap, but it doesn't have like certain things. MatCap looks softer a little bit. Or maybe this looks softer too. Let's check the back. Oh yeah. I can see like, it looks like there's a light here, but then there's like no light on this one. Oh, whoops, wrong one. Oh. This has like a little bit of blue in there, I think. This has like kind of left side dominant. I kind of want to try these though, honestly. This one supposedly looks like ZBrush. Let's try changing like background color to something. Let's make it like pitch black and see. This looks like ZBrush now, kind of. Make it white, see how that feels. Oh, that hurts my eyes. Okay. Something like more mid-tone. I could try this. Earlier we had the double light. It's nice for like checking curvature, but I don't think I need that now. Let's try taking this one further. This cloth piece. We never finished the hair. Yeah. Um, I don't remember. It's a little different because these we treated as like solid pieces, but then this one has gonna use a solidify, so well, it probably doesn't matter. I guess it depends, like if I want to make it look puffy too, but we could just make like a separate inner piece, so it doesn't matter really. Let's experiment here. So let's get the geometry. Let's make a copy. Oh, I feel kind of sleepy, man. Oh, I think it's because I ate too, so my blood sugar went up. Let's see how this does with the cloth brushes. I think the geometry is just too high. Although that did really good for what um let's see. I could also make a copy of the body so that it has like physics to work on. I think that makes sense, although it's a lot of work steps for that. Call this one collision. Oh, wait, do I have it right? So we're going to combine it and then we'll remesh it here. Doesn't have to be too low. Just enough so the clothing bumps into it. That looks pretty good to me. Yeah. And we could add a collision on it. So now when I move this stuff, it should act like cloth. So you can see it purposely bumped into the body there. But this is too high geometry, so I'm going to reduce it with quad remesher. Mesh quad. Let's try 666 for no reason at all. And it doesn't have to be symmetrical. $600 might be too high too, but we'll see. Yeah, the pumpkin. The pumpkin turned into two pumpkins. Yeah. Did it actually finish? I was doing something. What was I doing? Oh, I was gonna change the music. I'm falling asleep. Okay. We're gonna try to add wrinkles to this centerpiece. So I noticed when I do, why is that so laggy? When I do clothing sculpting, there's like a sweet spot where like if you go too high too quickly with the density, you get like really fine wrinkles. So you have to like feel out what's the right level and you slowly build up. Why is this so laggy though? Oh, it's because of the body. That's right. So I made a copy of the body as a collision. So it's calculating the collision as I'm pushing into the body and it's like laggy. This one's ignoring the body. So it's just like really fast. Uh, you mean the sculpting with the sculpt brushes with wrinkles? Wait, why is it all strong now? What the hell? Oh, with the collider? All I did was I just grabbed the body and I made a copy and then I did a remesh on it. Oh, I didn't combine it, but it's basically you combine it and then you kind of get just enough so like it's because if it's too high then it's like it gets really slow. So like just enough and then you add a collision on it. So if I actually got rid of this collision and I went back to sculpting, it's gonna be faster. Yeah, it's like super fast now. But for some reason, it's got really strong for like no reason. I don't know why. Uh, no, you're probably thinking like you have to add the cloth modifier here, but that's like if you run the play blast or playback, and then that simulates like gravity drag and the whole thing gets simulated. But I don't need to simulate the whole thing. I could just use the brush, and I add like I'm just like locally running the simulation like where my brush is. Because sometimes like it does things you don't want and it's laggy and you're like trying to bake it down and all that. I brought back the collision. um I don't know why the brush is so strong now though. Like I did something and now it's like super strong. I'm gonna use my tablet. Okay. This might be too the geometry might be too low because it's acting like leather or burlap where it's like it doesn't really fold. but I might just try a little bit and then I'll do quad remesher again. Yeah, you just it's like physics and then collision. So if you like if you watch if you go to cloth drag and I'm dragging it onto the boob there, it'll it'll like it won't go into the boob. And like it stops on the boob there. Yeah, actually, I think I just noticed that too. Um, it's probably like right here where it says simulation, dynamic, and then the other brush I saw, this one's deformation. Oh, I don't know actually. It looks like it should work. Oh no, it is still working. But yeah, I think it does have to do with that setting. So if you go to like one of these, I think, yeah, it might be this one, like this pull or cloth, grab cloth. It's set to local, so that might mean it ignores let me test it. Yeah, so it does ignore it, I think. Let me see. Yeah, it ignores it. So when the simulation is set to local, it ignores the collision, which is probably good sometimes because you still want to use the brush, but then you don't want to use it for the, you want to do like custom adjustments that ignore everything and it's fast. So yeah, I mean, yeah, and then you could probably force it the other way too. So you can, if you want it to actually detect the body, you just set it to dynamic. So now if I look at it, oh wait, yeah, it's bumping into the body. Let me do it one more time. Nope, actually, wait, maybe not. Oh, simulation fall off. Like maybe that's also a factor. Simulation limit. Let me see. Hmm. I can't confirm it actually. I'm sorry. But yeah, like you said, I don't think some brushes aren't affecting the collision for some reason. I thought it was gonna be this, but I guess not. Or maybe it is to some extent, but I don't know if this bar is telling it like to be affected by it at a certain percent or something. I don't know. Yeah, I kind of did this on the last character, and it was like really, it felt really good and easy to work with. Because before it's like, oh no, I got to run the whole simulation, and like it's kind of like a guessing game, like please work. And now it's just like it's almost like working off of sculpting, and I kind of use it almost like flavoring, I guess. So like I'll push and pull and let the brush like suggest wrinkles, and then later I'll like be like, yeah, that's a good wrinkle right there, and I'll push it more. So it kind of has this like stylized, but it's also slightly based on realistic simulation. So it's like you push the stuff you think works well. But this is like too low right now, so it's not like I'm not really getting any extra like cloth wrinkles. But maybe it's okay. So it's kind of a little bit of learning too, where we're like testing to see if going really low at the beginning makes sense. I really like this. This is like a hero wrinkle right here where it looks really cool. I like that slashing. Gotta make sure it stays there. I kind of like this idea of this pointing down. So it's like kind of like more of like this, and then back goes up a bit. The bummer when I use these cloth brushes, I don't have them hotkeyed because I just can't fit any more hotkeys and I can't remember them. So I end up having to pop up this sculpt bar, which is kind of annoying. And I have to scroll down each time. But it's not that bad, it's me complaining. Yeah, the pinch one? Oh, okay. Pinch folds. Oh my god. Yeah, there's something wrong with my thing where it just blasts it. Something happened. Like earlier it was fine, but now it's like 1,000% or something. But I kind of like it because it's like you don't fully know what it's gonna do, but sometimes it just adds a little bit of something, and you're like, oh, okay. But once I add like a little bit more geometry, it's gonna make it look even better. And there's nothing really stopping you from using like regular brushes too to kind of fix things. I also started using the pull brush more because I felt like it just worked better for cloth, but I don't know 100% why. It felt like it was easier on the clothes when I pulled it. So I ended up like cocking it. But I'm gonna try adding more geometry. I feel like quadri mesh is like a big part of this process though. So you almost need it. I'm gonna try doubling it, I guess, and then we'll see. It might be too much, but now I say it, I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna go 1,000. Yeah, I do. You mean like making for textures, like to use like for games and stuff? Or do you mean like the normals, like the mesh normals, where um it's not the texture, but it's like the actual models normals? I I do bake sometimes, but not really for like printing because it's like a texture, so it doesn't really apply. But when I do bake, I use Marmoset because they make everything so easy. You could drag and drop your high or low, and then make copies of the folder, and you could drag and you could make a custom cage really easy and fast, where you just drag a slider and it shows you like a transparent um, version of your low poly that comes out, and you make sure nothing overlaps in it. And it has a bunch of options to bake. It has like one or two extra things that I think Substance doesn't bake out. And I think it also does low to low. So I think it's like totally worth getting just for that. But I tried baking in Blender, but it's kind of a whole horrible like headache where you're like trying to tell it like where to save and then make sure none of the settings are messed up. Like what really screwed me over for a while was if you look at your uh yeah, and under render, if you go to color management and you don't set this to standard, it doesn't bake one to one. It'll bake in like the color um it'll bake these color settings in, because I was like baking back to forth. I was like baking, and it was getting darker and darker, and I'm like, wait, why is that happening? I don't understand. And it's because I had this like, I think it was like AGX or something, and it was getting darker and darker. So you have to like set that to like standard. Yeah, but if you just use Marmoset or Substance, it's more straightforward. And also, it's kind of scary with Blender when you save out textures and you forget to like save out to the right file. You like override your last thing. So if you do texture painting and then like you accidentally save your like empty, like clear file, you end up erasing all your texture paint. Like you literally kill your own work. Like you hit the save button or like reload button or something, and you all that work you just painted gets erased instantly. And you have no one to blame because you did it. You're like, okay, should I hit this? Yes. Okay. And then you're like, wait a second. Oh, that was not right. It's like, I don't know. I think it's like the way they store things like locally in memory or something. I don't. Um, I'm just rambling. So I think this is higher. Let me see. This looks actually too similar. Oh, actually, wait. Well, it's slightly more dense now. So we could try like using the brushes and seeing if it's notable. So right away you could see like it's like picking up more folds. Like I feel like it's still too strong. So my settings are blasted out for some reason. I have to like figure out why that happens, but it'll pick up like these smaller little wrinkles, and then later you just go back over it and you decide like which one should be wrinkles. But I'm going for like a kind of a thick leather jacket look, so I don't really want like super tiny, like if you think about like silk or like thin silk, then that has like tons of little wrinkles. So I think if you go like really dense geometry, then you'll get those fine wrinkles. Okay, have a good one. I'm actually leaving pretty soon too. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah. I was gonna make the pumpkin I made free on Sketchfab later, but I wanted to do it in like a particular order, so um I'll let you know if I have it up later. Hmm. I don't know, I'm not really feeling this. Maybe it's because it's so thin. Let's make it a little thicker. Try changing the color. It's getting laggy. No, I think it's just something doesn't feel good. I'm gonna add the other parts to it, and then maybe that'll bring it back. Can add. I'm gonna try adding UV spheres, and I'm gonna sculpt around it, and then maybe that'll kind of give it some more. Oh, let me turn on back face culling so I could see. I was thinking it'd be kind of cool if it was more puffy on the bottom. I'll just like test out some shapes there. I could maybe use this again. I'll just rebuild this piece, I think. I want to try it again anyway, so this piece is so small. I'll like redo that again too. I don't mind. I'll just try something different. The arms are kind of in the way. I'm gonna ignore the overlapping on the inside. So it has more of like this clear circular shape, I think works better. Maybe it can go like this. See how it looks from far away. I could hide them temporarily. It's before and after. Before, after. It's kind of subtle. I think it's a little better. I might squish this up more and I'll put one over here. Got like 10 minutes before I have to go. I'm gonna try adding the thing on the bottom of the jacket, see how that looks. The transition here is not working too well, but I kind of like this S curve that's happening though. That, but the top is kind of. I'll just leave it that. It's also a little lower on the left, but it's okay. Let me look at the arms. How do they do that? I'm trying to think. I know I could put a cylinder, or I could put a circle curve around the body. It's not gonna be, well, I could kind of get it roughly in place and I'll just squish it, I think. So I'll make this. And we'll bring back the arms in a second to see like the size of it. It's kind of like the same size. I probably shouldn't have rotated it, maybe. Oh, I didn't. Okay. Let's add a cylinder. I'll make it like slightly longer on purpose. Uh, how thick should it be? Let's see. see what it looks like when we subdivide. Inset the top and bottom. When I hit the remesh on this though, it's gonna like kind of lose a lot of its detail, so kind of won't really read. Let's bring back the arms. Make it a little bit smaller maybe. So this is the confusing part. Like, how do you make this line up? Clear transforms. The normals are backwards, so I just shift in it. And then center the geometry, origin the geometry, and then selection to active. So now this thing and this thing had the same origin lineup. And then I think that's everything. So it's probably going to be different in the new Blender. They changed something with this, so maybe it's more streamlined now. But I'm going to add an array. Couple, just do like 10 for now. And then deform curve. Nice. Okay. It's backwards, but it's okay. And then I'm going to spam the crap out of the array. Yeah, I might go over on purpose. I kind of like the overlap look. Yeah. It's interesting. The overall circle curve influences like how the shape of the squishes together. Let's look at it from afar and see if it reads well. Let's try to decide if the density is okay. Let's try. Let's try raising the factor. Oh, that messes up over here. But it kind of adds some interesting like imperfections. That makes it more interesting, I think. Let's go back though. Let's just do it. Let's apply it and then just do visual geometry to the mesh. And we'll get rid of this curve. And what's the density? Oh my god, it's 3 million. But it has like a level 3 subdiv on it too, that's why. We'll just remesh it. And it'll go down. Remesh. Oh god, I'm gonna crash. Okay, let's try 0.05. My computer does not like this. Let me clear transforms. Oh, why is it like barely showing? That's weird. Oh, I gotta go. Let me see. Let's try. I don't wanna do this too much because my computer does not like this. Let's try going 0.8. Okay. So we're getting a bit of that noise, which I wanted. Let's go lower. Let's try 6. I feel like at this point it's almost like just a crappy cylinder. Could have just done a crappy cylinder. Okay, there we go. 0.4 is I think perfect. Let's just go with that. Let's apply it. And then let's look at the geometry count. So it's at 30,000. So that's a lot better. It went from 3 million to 30,000. And then we can just go in here. And I'll just kind of line this up. I kind of don't feel safe because I'm kind of rushing. So let's put this over here. Down there. And then we'll do it. We'll sculpt this one. Just to kind of get an idea if it feels good here. And hide the arms. If I mess this one up, I could just bring up the other one. So oh, now that I think about it, I wanted to mask and add a bit more interest to the edge of it, but you do it after, I think, too. Oh, this thing's, how can we do this? Because I want this to kind of stay. But then this edge kind of comes out like this. This kind of works. Kind of like that. It's a little bit of a messy thing, but... And then we delete the front after. Yeah, it's an interesting transition. And then let's delete the front. How do I delete the front? I think we could do it in edit mode, maybe. Let's see. Let's grab this, delete that, like that. Hello. Wait, did I select through it? Oh, I did not select through it. Whoopsie. Gotta make sure. What is it? Transparent mode? Alt C. And delete that. I think to hide this transition, I'm gonna put like a cap on top of it so you don't see how ugly this looks inside. I could do non-manifold and then fill, non-manifold fill. And then try to smooth that away. And I'll like put a cap on top after. And bring back the arms, and then let's see how it looks. So that's kind of the idea. And then the other thing I wanted to do, but we don't really have time to do, is kind of mask off some of this. And then kind of go through here and kind of add some more. I said I don't have time and I did it. We didn't do the front though, but kind of like that. I have to like clean up though, but I don't like this transition, so turn off this, yeah. This, I think should be straight up and down. Yeah, I don't like this area, so I don't know. Try to look at it from far away. I think it should come out more like this. This should come out more. That's a little crazy, but I don't know. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna come back and try adjusting it. I don't have the time, but we'll be back tomorrow. Have a good one.